I remember growing up and seeing how niche Avatar The Last Airbender really was. Even with Korra coming out 4 years later, I didn't really saw it get much attention. The fanbase definitely grew a lot over the years, but it felt like the government shutdown with the rise of COVID was a huge turning point for the franchise. After Netflix got the rights to add Avatar The Last Airbender to its collection, it jumped to the #1 spot in the charts. Not only that, but actually stayed in the top 10 for 60 consecutive days, becoming the show with the longest consecutive run on the streamer's top 10 TV series chart. That's insane, especially for a show that was, at the time, 15 years old. Not only that, but the graphic novels that were once rare finds on eBay were finally being printed again. That part was always exciting to me because I remember one volume I couldn't find anywhere except for a crappy library copy from eBay that I'm 90% certain the seller stole from a library. But since production started again, I could finally upgrade to a newer copy. Anyways, with the rise of Avatar being embraced more than ever, Avatar Studios was announced in February of 2021. They stated that the studio will produce brand new material set in the Avatar universe, including new series, short-form content, spin-offs, and theatrical films. As I'm sure most of you know, Netflix is making a live-action series with Book 1 releasing this summer. Personally, I'm not too interested in it. I'm more so looking forward to new and original content, specifically animated. So that's what the focus of this video is going to be about. According to Avatar News, if we continue down the timeline, first up is an adult Team Avatar animated film scheduled in October of 2025, which will be followed up with an animated series of the earthbending Avatar who will be the successor to Avatar Korra. This series is set to release in the winter of 2025, so only a couple months apart. October of 2026 will introduce a Zuko animated film, and after that we have loose leads on an animated spin-off in 2026 and an animated film and or series in 2027. My major focus is on the spin-off, or rather what I believe is a really good idea for one. To start, we're actually going to go back to one of my favorite moments in Avatar: The Legend of Korra. I understand that many people dislike Korra's show, and while I agree that it had a lot of rough moments, there are many compelling counterparts that deserve credit. One of them is pro-bending. In the beginning of Korra, we're introduced to Mako and Bolin, who are members of the pro-bending team, the Fire Ferrets. Their third player ditches them at the last minute, and Korra ends up filling that spot so they can continue competing. If you don't remember how pro-bending works, it's a competitive sport that involves 2 teams of 3 benders, one from each of the main bending arts, besides airbending, because, genocide.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Anyways, the main objective of the sport is to gain as much territory within the ring as possible within 3 minutes, or alternatively to knock the opposing team over the edge of the ring, falling to water.
And she's in the drink.
Now, I'm not sure how familiar some of you are, but many animes create an entire premise around a simple sport, such as Haikyuu with volleyball or Blue Lock with soccer. My idea is that Avatar Studios can take inspiration from these animes and create a spin-off show following the events of a pro-bending team. I always thought pro-bending was a brilliant concept, and I honestly wish pro-bending got more screen time, even if it wasn't necessarily prevalent to the plot in Korra. That said, I still feel the sport is important when tied to Aang and every other Avatar's legacy.
Hold the phone, stop the presses. She's still in the game, folks, and she's moving like an entirely different player.
If you don't remember, Aang and Zuko actually created Republic City, and the whole point of it was to embrace unity. That's why we see such a diverse range of cultures and bending. Having a sport that integrates 3 of the 4 types of bending while bringing people together is astonishing. A major theme in The Last Airbender is understanding others through our differences. Uncle Iroh said it best here.
It is important to draw wisdom from many different places. If we take it from only one place, it becomes rigid and stale. Understanding others, the other elements, and the other nations will help you become whole.
With this, let's discuss possible ways we could go about it. I believe pro-bending is a lot deeper than just a fun sport, as it ties to how we as a society should connect, but I don't think that means the show itself needs to be deep in that regard. To start, while the Fire Ferrets had a good run, I think it would be better to create a fully original cast of rookies. The time period could be before or after the Fire Ferrets legacy, but it could be cool to see the start or an earlier process of pro-bending. It could start off as simple as 3 people becoming friends that end up forming a team, and through the series we see them develop their relationships along with the team becoming more integrated within the pro scene. I think it'd be hype seeing a team starting out rough to then moving up the ranks and growing a fan base. Plus, it'd be fun to see the team develop a logo, get uniforms, sponsors, stuff like that. They could also introduce an underground pro bending league that's less professional, and maybe our main cast starts there instead. Some potential drama could be that they need the reward money for something, but even just having the main goal of winning and getting better at bending is enough for me. I think the only drama related thing that we definitely don't need is a love triangle. I think we can all agree that that was one of the biggest fumbles in Korra. Back to pro bending, it's a spin-off idea that's vague enough to go many different ways, so those were just some of my thoughts. Watching pro bending from Korra has always been some of my favorite moments for me, so I just randomly got the idea and thought I'd share a quick video about it.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
While I don't expect them to do this, I think it's just cool to think about. If you have any ideas to add, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'd love to read them. Doesn't even have to be related to this per se. Anyways, thank you everyone for watching. I wanted to start a new channel where I review and analyze different forms of media, so if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and drop a like if you can. Even simple videos like this take a lot of effort to make, so any amount of support helps a ton. That's going to be all for today. Thank you again and have a good night, day, whatever time zone you're in. Peace.